In today's unboxing, we take a look at Elder Sign. It is one of the games within the Arkham Horror line from Fantasy Flight Games. Let's take a look. Here we have Elder Sign. This is the revised printing. It is within the Arkham Horror files. One of the nice things about this whole Arkham Horror range, especially once you start adding in some of their games like Mansions of Madness that actually is a miniatures game, you can start incorporating a lot of those elements into their other lines to help bring them to life. I got started within the Mansions of Madness, so that led me down the rabbit hole, and I just could not stop. So this is one of their older ones, but I am happy to get it and bring it to the table now. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we have. And here on the back, like with most of their stuff, they go ahead and give you within their own range the sleeves that you would need and how many that you will need to be able to sleeve this. Of course, you could then look up what the orange and yellow is and then find that size however it is you wish to do it, but at least it lets you know how much you're going to need if you do want to sleeve this and help protect your game. It lets you know that there are custom die. This one is one of the more dice heavy games within their Arkham Horror line. I believe some people have referred to it as a horror Yahtzee. To me, that sounds wonderful. I love that. Yahtzee is one of the simpler games that my wife loves, and so we tend to play that when we do just simple house games quite often. It has the age range of 14 plus for 1 to 8 players with an average playtime of 1 to 2 hours. And they go above and beyond to let you know this is a 14 plus game. There is horror elements that might not be suited for younger kids. In a written style, it goes ahead and lets us know all of the components within the box. And like I said, an overview of what the table layout might look like. Evil from beyond has come to the museum. Throughout the museum's history, visitors have been drawn to its unparalleled collection of ancient exhibits and exotic curios from faraway places. But in 1926, unimaginable horrors from beyond threatened to use these artifacts as a means to enter our world, bringing an end to all humanity. The clock is striking midnight, and a small group of courageous investigators desperately search the marbled halls of the legendary symbol that will keep our world safe, the Elder Sign. In Elder Sign, 1 to 8 players take on the role of investigators struggling to combat one of the Ancient One's vast, powerful creatures that dwell in the space between dimensions. By rolling a pool of special dice, the players will investigate the museum that has become the focal point of these strange creatures. The investigators' courage and skill will earn rewards, the most prized of which is an Elder Sign, the eldritch symbol used to seal away the Ancient One and win the game. But the clock is always ticking, and each night at midnight, the Ancient One gets closer to waking up. If the investigators take too long to seal it away, the Ancient One awakens, and humanity is almost certainly doomed. Inspired by the writings of H.P. Lovecraft, Elder Sign is a cooperative game of suspense and horror that can be played in 1 to 2 hours by 1 to 8 players aged 14 up. Well, this game sounds right up my alley. I cannot wait to dive into this one, get it to the table. Let's crack it open and take a look at what we have on the inside. We got pretty much the whole thing. There we go. All right. So first up, we have their standard catalog of all of their, or not all, as of at least this release, a good majority of their product line. We can push that off to the side. Next, Elder Sign Omens, the digital version, I believe, of the game. Very cool. Rules of play. First things first. And on the back, we have a nice quick reference. I do always like to see this. Again, it just makes when you play the game a whole lot easier, that you have this one common little area that has a majority of the stuff that you will be looking up. But let's go ahead and take a look to see if there's any kind of reference type material, index, glossary, or anything. No, not really. We'll have to look through the rules and see how affected that is. I do always like to see a glossary in my rule book, because a lot of times they'll be talking about, say, an attack phase or an attack or rolling an attack die. And if you don't know all the places where that is being used, you might miss one. You might get to the first little section on it and not realize that 3 pages down the line they talk about it again, where in this case it does something slightly different. That's why I like to see a glossary that can tell you all the different pages and all the different spots that it talks about. The rule book is, let's see, 18, 19, so 20 pages long. So it is a decent sized rule book, sized to fit the full dimensions of the box. So it is a fairly large rule book. I do like here where we can get a components overview, more importantly, a visual of components overview. Luckily here, I mean, they just saw the green, yellow, and red dice, but a lot of times they will give these kind of things names. You have like the damage dice or the defense dice or whatever they are. And if you don't realize that's the yellow die, it makes it a little more difficult. So having these images to go along with your game really does help. All right. And then we have the setup and the ancient one. I do believe there's multiple ancient ones. Again, that's going to help with replay value. So you can play it in with multiple different villains. You can randomize which one you play. That's always useful. Cool. Using items. Come on. There you go. Pages did not want to separate. Different monsters. And then back to the back. Very cool. Next we have, again with their common blue dot to let me know that this is the English versions of everything. It's funny where sometimes they'll do that, sometimes they don't. Usually they do. Usually you can see everything that has the blue dot. So this looks like just a reference card. Single card in this bag. Why not? Next we have all of our tokens. Hey, look, and a free sticker. You can go right there. Let's go ahead and crack this guy open. All right, so here we have all of the tokens. We have all of our different insanity tokens, our health tokens, and let's go ahead while we are looking at those. There we go. So, yep. Sanity and stamina tokens, that's what those are. Then we have our clue tokens. Then we have all of our different character little guys. I believe these are the ones you're going to move from card to card. But once again, if you have a large enough Mansions of Madness collection, you could very easily incorporate those actual miniatures into. And look, that's the punch for these. These are just gonna. I'm just barely touching some of these, and they're wanting to come right out. There is the clock hand for the clock on the next punch board. Then we have these. Whoa. I've already lost a couple. Look at that. All right. There we go. And I do believe the way the game works is these will go into a bag of sorts. And then here we can have a little bit of information on them. So you randomly put them out and set them on the location. I like that. And then we have our elder signs, a couple more clue tokens, and there's that clock used to significant time as we're going through. Here we have our cultists. Then we have very cool. Next, we have all the different cards and the dice, the two sides. So it looks like the two sizes that we have is going to be your tarot size cards and your American Standard small. I don't think there's anything. Nope, nothing underneath there. First things first, let's go ahead and take a look at the die. First, we have the little black bit for putting together the clock. Then we have the singular red die. 4, 2, 3, the skull. That's here. And then the yellow. 1, 2, scroll, skull. 3, 4. And then 6 of the green. 1, 2, scroll, skull, tentacles, and 3. Very cool. Nice rounded corners. Those are nice. See, I like that. Very cool. Though I think with the skull, I think that would have been a bad roll because I think that would have negated stuff, if I remember right. And with there only one skull on all of these dice, I'm getting skulls a lot. I'm glad this is not a game going on right now. Here we go. All right, and that gets us into the cards. Here is where we might get into a little bit of spoiler territory. We will go through the cards. But at this point, I will do a brief little intermission to give you a second to stop, walk away if you need to, if you don't want to see the cards. Because once again, these cards will have all of the locations and all that kind of stuff, and all of the different, creatures that you might be facing. Might be some spoilers. I don't know. I haven't really played the game yet, so I'm not positive on that. But just in case, I do want to give you the chance to have seen everything, get an idea of what is in the box without actually seeing 100% of everything. We'll be right back. All right, I have split the tarot-sized cards into two different stacks. The littles, probably less spoilery. These will be all of the end ones, ancient ones, there we go, and our investigators, and here are all of the locations and what comes there. So we will first look at these and then look at the potentially more spoiler location cards. So here is our first ancient one, and all of them have that back. The Cthulhu, very cool. And now we into our investigators. And they all have this back. One thing that I do really like about this one is that was a good bit of ancient ones that you can go up against and a good bit of investigators. There is going to be a ton of replay value with all the different investigators having their own unique ability down here, different set of insanity and stamina, different starting items, all this kind of stuff. That really is going to add to a ton of replayability within just the base box without having to, add in all of the expansions, which they have quite a bit of. Being that this is one of their older games, there is a ton of content. So if you are new to the game like I am, there is a ton that you can get and add into this. So that is extremely exciting. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different ancient ones. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Which I probably could have just looked at my rule book to get those numbers. But so we have 16 different investigators and 8 different ancient ones to go up against. That is an immense amount of content. I am loving it. Got McDonald's going on all over here. All right. Next we have the rooms or the areas. I like the back little maze. Though with it being a museum, you would have thought maybe it'd be a little slightly different. Not like a hedge maze, but maybe a museum corridor or something. I don't know. Oh, that's okay. So that is what that is. It looks like you're probably going to be playing different areas. So here, this is probably an overall maze area. Okay, so that makes a whole lot more sense now. This, I like this. That's a pretty wicked background right there. Excuse me. I always seem to cough more when I am unboxing these horror games. Think there's anything to that? And then here's some more of those hedge maze ones. Interesting, back to that. I'll be interested to see what those differences are when I actually get a chance to break open that rules and really dive into this. Get a couple games to the table. And I think the way the game works is that you have to roll to get all of these. And if you have this symbol, that means you have to do it in that order. If you fail, that's your consequence. If you succeed, that's your reward. I think, don't know. We'll have to, again, dive into the rule book and find out. Very cool. Those are all of them. Next we have the small American Standard cards. Let's go ahead and take a look at them. All right, I have split up the small American Standard size cards into their 4 different piles with their 4 different backs. You can take a look at that. It will be going from least spoilery to most spoilery, where these are your Mythos cards. So, of course, we will do those last with a small little break before we get into them. Let's move all of this up just a hair now. And that's not working as well as I would hope it would. There we go. Let's just... Oh, wait. Whoa. Missed the back. There's an additional back there. All right, so there, looks like weapons. And now I'm guessing allies. And maybe spells. There's the back. Yeah, heal. Yeah, these are definitely going to be spells. And then I'm guessing, let's see. Yep, okay. So that's what the difference here is, where these weapons give you the yellow die, and these weapons will give you the red die. And of course, the first three that we pull don't do that, but so those are the different types of cards that we get for the ally cards. There we go. Now we'll take our quick little siesta before we crack open into the Mythos. All right. Now I find it interesting how each Mythos card has a top and bottom thing going on. I wonder if it's a difficulty rating maybe, or a past success. I'm interested to find out what that is all about. And there we go. That is everything for the standard American size cards. Well, that is everything in the base box for Elder Sign, one of the Arkham Horror line of games from Fantasy Flight. I hope this unboxing has helped you to determine if this is something you would be interested in. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.